Greetings. I am Kianis Taylor and here with Viveka Ikoy Walton from the Cox Academy and as well as Families in Action. And we are here together to talk about schools that are raising the bar. We're really excited to be approaching the Raising the Bar Awards
Yes.
coming up very soon. And we have invited Viveka to talk to us about her school and how they are raising the bar as a part of our coverage. So, with that, we will jump right into the questions. Are you ready, Viveka?
Yes.
Wonderful. So, we'll start by talking about some things that are about the commitments to raising the bar. First question is, what does it mean to you to raise the bar?
To me, when it comes to like raising the bar, especially in education and at schools, it's stepping up and elevating yourself and your institution on another level. Like whether it be just your school or if you're a part of like a district or a charter, like also being a part of helping everybody else and holding everybody else accountable for how you're delivering data, how your standards are being met by your students, and how you're including parents in this information. That's what raising the bar is it's everybody knowing it's like it takes a village, and that's really important.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. What big data have you shared or will you share with families and students? And how do you communicate that out?
So, a really big part of what I do with Families in Actions is I help facilitate literacy institutes, and in these institutes, we're helping families learn strategies to actually use at home to help support their child's data. And during these institutes, we break down their child's data. We show them what the school's data is, and we also show them where we deliver them hand notes and hand uh, files that are their children's data, and we break it down together while we're doing these institutes. So that's a major way on how I'm sharing it. I'm also the co-chair of the Black Family Council at my son's school. So once a month we have what we call as a family dinner, where we get together, we talk about our vision, which is to increase the literacy rates at Cox Academy, especially for our Black students. Another vision is to make sure that we're showing them opportunities outside of the school, going on trips. And so when we have our monthly meeting, we're bringing up anything that has to do with data. We're helping them make sure they know the questions to ask their teachers, when it comes to their individual students' education. So those are just a few ways that I'm making sure that the data is getting to the families, and not only that, that we're actually using it to increase and encourage the increased data around all the areas.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that. All
Mhm.
right. Next question. Um, what recommendations do you have for parents to help them raise the bar?
I think my biggest recommendation is making sure that you're in constant communication with your teacher, your student's teacher, and making sure you're asking those questions at least once a month. How's my students reading or math? Is there anything you're working on specifically that I can help support at home? I think just always asking questions and making sure that you're staying up to date on the information and not just waiting towards close to like back to school night or when report cards come out, because by that time it's a little late for interventions, and then we're trying to catch up as opposed to trying to make sure that our students are already either at their levels or maintaining it. So
Mhm.
that would be my biggest recommendation, is just asking the right questions. And if you don't get any report from your student's teacher monthly, then just asking for that. Like, is anything changed? Is there
Mhm.
anything I should be paying attention to? So
Being
those are my
proactive.
questions.
That's a great way to raise the bar.
Right.
What feedback do you receive from families or have you received?
I think a lot of the feedback, because I'm a parent and I'm in this parent lead role at my son's school. I A lot of feedback I get is that maybe there's not enough communication between the teachers and the parents sometimes. So, you know, when I get feedback like that, I'm also asking the parents questions like, well, how often are you maybe trying to bridge the gap or extend an olive branch, because sometimes I also, as a parent, I know that we're focused on our individual child as we should be, but sometimes we also got to think. I have one student in a class that's with 25. So, I'm not saying that that's an excuse for any teacher. I think that a lot of times as parents, we can just do a little more and get a different outcome and a result from it. And
Mhm.
so when you know, feedback like that I get from parents, another one is that maybe the data that they do get, or like the reading level, they're told they don't understand it. The parents, we've been out of school for so long. Like, reading is not the same now than it was when I was in middle school and
Mm.
the same with math. So a lot of times the kids bring home these reports and us parents are like, what does this mean? Or sometimes the data is a little tricky and confusing, and I think making sure that it's user friendly is something, or parent friendly, really. Colors, stuff like that, we understand colors. So I would say those are major feedbacks I get. And yeah.
Great, great. So really addressing the user friendliness of the information to make it
Yes,
accessible to as many people as possible.
absolutely.
Sounds like that bar is raising.
We're working on it.
Why did you get involved with FIA to raise the bar?
So early on, when my son got into third grade at Cox Academy, I was making sure that I was present. I just homeschooled him the year prior. In second grade, I homeschooled him completely. And so I got a different respect for teachers, and then a major respect for just my son and what he had to go through during the pandemic. And so when I got, really involved in my son's school, I was, searching for other resources, making sure that anything that I needed to do to help him and get extra resources for him to catch up, I was utilizing. And then FIA came into the school, and they had a literacy institute that they were doing. So the literacy institute that I talked to you about now, that I'm currently now in the leadership of, I
Mhm.
was volunteering for a year with FIA as just a parent that wanted other parents to understand this information. And so
That's
I was
amazing.
I was presenting at the I was presenting the second session of my institute on what I was doing at home and how I was utilizing the resources they gave me a week before. And so a lot of that tied into a Prop 51 campaign that they started with my son's school for facilities funding from the OUSD school board. And so for 10 months, I went to every single OUSD school board meeting, and I gave public comment on behalf of my son's school because they needed funding. So that tied into the literacy institutes. It just gave me more of a big fire to keep going and to keep getting as many parents involved. And so now we have about like 12 or 13 parents that actively are involved, whether it's the food bank, the Black Family Council, and we now have a Hispanic Family Council. And so, like, parents are coming back into the school. We're taking ownership, and FIA has really helped cultivate that leadership within the parents at the
That's
community.
beautiful. That's a
Mm.
beautiful story and just so inspiring in terms of just taking an organic lead in
Right.
your son's education and inspiring others to do the same. So
Yes.
kudos
Thank
to you. So, just some more questions about
you.
raising the bar in general. The
Right.
next question is, what would you say is the secret sauce that would be most impactful to raising the bar, specifically at Cox Academy?
I say that in my experience last 2 years, the secret sauce has definitely been parent partnerships.
Mm,
Like, intentionally focusing on engaging parents in the school, and making sure you're edifying them and making them feel valued,
mm,
not just to help in the lunchroom, but to also help make decisions. And Principal Curry, his name is Omar Curry. He is the principal of Cox Academy, and he's fostered such a great environment of parents and staff just really working together. We have so many parents that are just in the school a lot now more, and we're at the read-ins. We're having, our own council meetings and getting husbands and wives to come and beautify the school. Like we really made a community at the school, and it's really because the principal intentionally made that a part of his plan. He said, one of my plans is to increase family engagement and make sure parents know that they're appreciated in the school. We're having a big luncheon for the family. It's a family appreciation luncheon. So for all the top family leaders at the school that have been engaging and just there for the school, just on a parents, just as parents, they're celebrating us. So small things like that, and that's what has kept this going at Cox, and that's what's bringing more parents in. A lot more parents are learning about these things that are happening, and they want to be involved. And we're bringing other people, and that's the difference too. Is that now we're not just doing it ourselves; we're asking our neighbors and other parents, like, "Come on, I'm going to the school. Come with me, or can you do this?" So, I think it's that the involvement of parents, and not just for like lunch or just because you need an extra body on the schoolyard, but
Mhm.
in decisions and letting us be a part of the decisions about the assemblies, stuff like that. That's been important.
That's amazing. Again, just very inspiring, creating ambassadors and just soldiers, within your own ranks, getting people excited to participate in their children's education. I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yes, it's been.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's been so great.
What would you, or what do you view is the district's plan to raise the bar with A through G completion?
I think that as the district is starting to see that parents are demanding more standards out of the school district, especially in Oakland, I think enough of the parents are going to start becoming more angry about our children graduating from high school, not being able to go straight into their degree programs because they have to take remedial classes, and raising the bar and making sure parents are involved in their child's data and education, especially knowing that parents have more resources and to move forward, and not just move forward but actually listen to the parents and start to raise standards and actually hold schools and teachers accountable for making sure they deliver the information correctly to parents.
So that sounds like a lot of responsibility for the district to
Yes, it
do
does.
similar things to what Cox Academy is doing in terms of engaging parents.
Yes.
Great. Well, it definitely sounds like you all are raising the bar and setting a great example for the district.
Thank you.
Can you tell me what are some of the best practices with parents, leaders, and FIA that you've instituted to help raise the bar?
Oh, I would say a lot of the um, parents specifically, giving them autonomy over the decisions that they get involved with at the school, and like allowing them to like really step up and showing more leadership, and not just supporting the school but actually leading things within the school. FIA has really helped teach parents how to really just step up into their role as a parent, and how much. And so, um, a lot of the institutes that FIA hosts, like a summer leadership institute they had, it's, building our capacity and learning how to advocate at the school board level. A winter leadership where a lot of us actually helped put together the ACOE candidate form. And parents had to email board directors and trustees and had to ask them to come to a meeting and a research action. So it was really showing parents that if you are a little persistent and you you contact the right people, you'll get your questions answered, and not just quit your questions answered, you're also really be able to hold people accountable. So that accountability piece is really taught through the Leadership Institute by just, I have questions, I'm a parent, I have the right to know, and it is your job to make sure that my questions are answered and that I have understanding of my child's situation. So I think that those things have really helped parents raise the bar for themselves, and also schools hold themselves accountable to start raising the bar too, because parents are demanding those changes.
Beautiful. I love that answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
In what ways can or should our elected officials, as well as the district and the state and the community, help you raise the bar? How can we all work together?
Oh man. So, in order for us to all work together, we all have to really, really take it back to the foundation of why we do the things that we do in education, and it's for the students. I think that when we all go back and ground ourselves in the students' whole needs and what the students' needs that matter the most, that we can then start to unpack why the literacy rates are so low in our state, right? And then once we address that and we aren't in a denial over maybe the systems that we've already had in place not working, then we can then move forward in the right direction. I think if we all just take a step back and understand that, what works and the patterns, asking and collaborating with districts next to you, right? If you are a part of a school district that is low in literacy and maybe a neighboring school district is thriving, why aren't we partnering and collaborating with those districts? And what are you doing that's helping your students? What can we do? Right. And I think that when we start to work together and you work together in unison and not, allow rhetorics and politics, I would say, to get in the way, then maybe we can all really raise the bar as a community in one. But I think one of the first steps is really just, and pretty much like setting standards and
Hmm.
setting the standard and requiring that those standards be met, and in the situations when they're not met, making sure that we're also putting together interventions and resources and not just letting the problems get worse,
Mm.
because the more we just don't address it and don't allow the problems to kind of to allow us to help each other work through the problems, then the worse it's going to keep getting. And if we keep doing that, we're just in the circle and our students are the ones that are losing. And really, adults feelings should not be in student politics, like as politics should not be in education. Education has no room for feelings as adults, because we have these children and students lives and future that we have to really make decisions on. And I think that sometimes we're not thinking in the students best interest, that we're all thinking in maybe our own individual self-interest.
As you were speaking, the word collaboration, just kept ringing out to me,
Yes.
and student focused collaboration,
Yes.
as well as supplying resources to for all of those groups and individuals listed in this question, to supplement their toolkits,
Right.
to be able to provide student focused solutions. So,
Yes, collaboration is the number one.
oh,
Let's work
absolutely.
together.
Wonderful. Okay. Great, great, great. Thank you. Next question. Is there anything else you'd like to highlight about your success or target areas for growth?
I think that the success that I've had just in the field that I've been in for this little bit of time with FIA and as a parent is really just it's really just goes back to just wanting to really be a role model for my son, and really just make sure he knew that me and his other mom were going to make sure that we did everything in our power to make sure that he had every resource, and then literally his future is secured for him, just by making sure that we put things in place for him that allow him to be successful. And I was fortunate enough to actually be awarded with a Parent Leader of the Year this past August that just passed from FIA, before I became organizer with FIA. And when
Congratulations.
thank you so much. And when I accepted that award, it was really just not just me. That award wasn't about what I did. It was about those nights I was at the board meetings till 1 in the morning because they were arguing back and forth about budgets. And my wife is at home and she's like, "Where are you at? What is going on?" And the constant telling her, "I'm at a board meeting. I promise
Mhm.
you this is where I'm at," right? It was those moments, and she contributed to that win so much. And then my son, coming in as a third grader, reading at second grade level barely, and having to now socialize again, and he hasn't been in school for 2.5 years,
Mhm.
and it's a new school, new kids, and and just him being encouraged to increase his own literacy and wanting to read faster and read better and be better. And so um really, I want every parent to feel that. I want
Mm.
every parent that is going through an issue with their child's data, and they know their child isn't reading at grade level right now. I want every parent that feels like that to have the feeling of, together we did this. Because I can remember when he got his report card at the end of third grade and he had all greens. And to me, all green, I mean, when you think of green, you're like, well, that must mean it's a great thing. Yes, because he had reds, he had a red and a yellow, and those were improvement areas. And by the end of the school year, he was in all green and he was reading at his school level, at his grade level.
Congratulations. That's
And
amazing.
I want every parent to feel that. And so I just say what I want to target the most is just making sure that our parents in Oakland, and just not even just Oakland, but everywhere, knows that there are resources out there. And if there isn't any directly around you, then fight for them
Mm.
and demand them, because every child has
Inspiring.
the resources.
I love the answer. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, I think that that concludes the questions that we had, and unless there's anything else that you'd like to share or say, I just want to thank you again so much for your thoughtful responses, your eloquence, and all of your hard work to serve your own son, but then also to take what you created and developed for him, and you're now um, infusing that into your own community and into the other students that can benefit from those things as well. So,
Thank you. Thank
Vipika,
you.
you are absolutely raising the bar. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to Cox Academy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course. Take care.
You too.